This is going to be some goofy camera work, so prepare yourself. But I thought I would share something really cool with you that might be really useful if you're out on a trail somewhere and you happen to come across poison ivy. You might be able to come across another plant that could help you out in that situation if you are allergic. I have never really had any allergic reactions, but my partner, his body does crazy shit when he gets poison ivy. So I've been I've spent a fair amount of time just doing a little research and figuring out what could be helpful. And this is something that I started experimenting with last year when I moved here to Virginia. Switch arms. My arm's gonna get tired. And it was, I just first discovered this plant last year, actually. So I've been getting acquainted with it like in the fall, in the end of summer, fall when I moved here, and now this year as it's been growing since it first sprouted up. So it's everywhere out here, and it's jewelweed. And yeah, I'm just out here where we live, but we've created sort of like a mini hiking trail back here along the creek that connects to the wetlands. And there is poison ivy everywhere. I'm also in just like a beautiful oasis of persimmons. So I'm really, really, really excited to like move, just to live with the land here this year and to grow with it and to be here for all of the different things that are popping up. Is so exciting. I'm actually out here picking honeysuckles right now, but I saw this poison ivy everywhere, and right next to it I saw the jewelweed, so I thought I'd show you a quick little, tidbit. So let me flip the camera around here. All right. Whoa. There we go. Well, I was gonna say maybe I could pick a better spot, but I can kind of demonstrate everywhere. Here's some poison ivy, and here's some jewelweed, right? Here's some poison ivy, and here's some jewelweed. I'm not going to go into the details of, I can make it quick and easy with poison ivy. You can do lots of online searches and figure it out for yourself if you're not sure how to identify it, but essentially leaves of 3, you've probably heard that. And most of the time you'll find them kind of slightly serrated. It kind of depends on if they're, see here, this is a nice darker color of the poison ivy right there. But the leaf shapes will be a little funky as far as where they're serrated. It kind of varies. I guess maybe depends on just how much light it's getting and where it's at. But that's the basic. It's what you're gonna see when it's young. It's like red and it's really beautiful. But yeah, it'll straight up fuck your skin up, right? So, jewelweed. Let me see if I can focus a little better. Here. There we go. Better lighting here. Alright, so a lot of the times you'll find it, like I said, growing really close. Or maybe if it's not right here by it, it might be up there on the trail. It does, I've noticed, really wet areas, and most of everywhere it grows out here on the land is pretty damp soil, pretty close to the water. So here, I am not a great camera person. I'm gonna work on that. Maybe next time I'll bring my actual real camera out here. But you can see it has this really bright green, almost translucent stem, and looks like that one has maybe a disease or something. Actually, doesn't normally have that pink there. So anyways, I picked a one that's kind of fucked up to show you, but you can see here that these stems are symmetrical. and it goes this way, and then it turns, and it goes that way, turns, and they're very, very soft. And another name for jewelweed is touch-me-not, and the reason that is because when they grow, they get really tall. I mean, they're gonna end up being like, I don't know if you can see, like this. I'm 5'2", they're gonna end up being close to me, like probably up to my chest. So they create these beautiful little cupped flowers that are so hard to describe. And then when they have the seed pods, when you touch the seed pod, it springs into a curl and it jumps out and it throws the seeds everywhere. So that's why when you see it, you'll probably see very large patches of it. Like there's a lot of jewelweed all in this. You see a lot of other stuff too, but there's a lot of jewelweed all in this area. So you can use the flowers if you like, but if you were to get poison ivy and you were to find this, and also, pause, let me just say this. Please don't just watch one video, like my video, and take my word and just run with it. I want you to, like, you know, cross-reference and find other resources and look at lots of pictures and maybe get some books and not just read online, and see what you can find, right? Whoa, elderberry. I did not know that was... Okay, anyways. I'm getting distracted by plants. Okay, just make sure you do your research. That's all I'm saying. Like, before you take another plant and rub it all over your skin, do your research. So here's what you can do. You can grab some leaves and you can just crush them up and you can rub it all over the spot. Another thing you can do is you can take this and you can cut it up, blend it up, mash it up, whichever you prefer, and mix it with an oil that you prefer, like coconut oil or olive oil, and then you can put that on the spot. And what that's going to do is it's going to relieve the itching for you. And I live with a family member here, another family member who has like very bad reactions to poison ivy as well. And I mashed this shit up all last year, and we rubbed it all over her skin, and it helped. She looked like, you know, she looked green and funny, but it helped her a lot. So yeah, you're gonna have like a pasty green on you, but at the same time it's gonna be very helpful. Excuse me. You can also make something I just began experimenting with, and thankfully no one's gotten poison ivy yet since I've finished the batch, but I chopped some jewelweed and some plantain leaf, which also relieves itching, and I chopped it up and I put it in some witch hazel and I let it sit in a cool, dark place for 2 weeks, and I shook it up occasionally, and then I strained it at the end of 2 weeks, and now I have this little juice that should last a little while. What? Okay, I'm getting distracted again, but there are new birds in town. Okay, anyways. So hopefully that's gonna work. I haven't like actually tried it out yet, but we'll see. And if that works, then I'm probably going to be making a shitload of batches of it just to like last us through this season. And another thing I heard that you can do is that you can take fresh jewelweed and you can freeze it in ice cubes so that you can use it later in the year whenever it's not in season. And also, I haven't experimented with that yet, but that's going to be another thing that I try this year that I'm really excited about. All right, well, I hope you found this helpful, and maybe when you first noticed it, maybe I can show you a few more jewelweeds before this ends. So maybe when you see it, you go, oh, I recognize that. You know, I recognize those beautiful soft little ridges on the edge there, and how soft the leaf is, and just how gentle it is. Or maybe you already know what it looks like in the fall, or you looked it up, right, and you saw pictures of flowers and you said, oh my gosh, I see that everywhere. Well, now you know. So there you go, there you have it, jewelweed, right over some poison ivy there. And I recently, I was with my partner's mom, and she was like, la-di-da with the poison ivy. Yeah, I don't care, I'm not allergic. I was like, yeah, but your partner is. She's like, oh, I never thought of it that way. And that's something that, I don't know if you're not allergic and you live with someone who's highly allergic, but it's something to be mindful about. Like, I even am with my dog. I kind of let her run around and be a wild dog most of the time, but if we're in a poison ivy, like an area that's really heavy with it, then I'm going to make sure she's not running all around in it, because we're going to get back and my partner's going to be loving all on her and he's going to get poison ivy everywhere, you know. Or if I have it all over my feet, I don't want him to, like, he likes to, like, kiss my feet. I don't want him to do that and then get poison ivy. That's going to be bad. So it's something to be mindful about. Yeah, and I don't know, another thing you may want to consider is some people take homeopathy medicine that's actually, I think it's rust tox. I don't know the full name, but it's actually made from poison ivy. And the idea with that is you're treating like with like, similarly and not similarly to having like a flu shot. There's a lot of other shit in there, but you know, you're getting a little bit of that in your system. So that's what it's like. You're treating your poison ivy with poison ivy. So something you might also want to try if you're highly allergic, and you're around it, like you have to work around it on a regular basis, maybe you work in landscaping or something, then you could consider taking that in small daily doses. You can obviously do some research online and look more into that and see what you think about it. But I used to work with someone at a nursery who she did that every day, and she used to experience it really badly, but she had not really had many cases for the last few years that she'd been taking it, and they were mild if she did. So I think because you're already like introducing it to your body in small amounts, it gets more used to it, and you're not gonna have like such a crazy flare up when it comes up. So yeah. And then just about poison ivy in general, I've been working really to reframe my relationship with how I feel about her, because I've seen like the harm she can do, but at the same time, you know, everything here has a purpose, and I'm learning more about her purpose here, and you know, not shaming her for being such a fucking asshole sometimes. I mean, even if she is, she's also still here for some good to some degree, and it's hard to, you know, reframe and think about it that way if you've always been on the stance of like fuck poison ivy. But I think that just in general, it's good for us, for our relationships with plants and people too, to be able to see the good in them and not, I don't know, demonize is the first word that comes to mind, but yeah, you know, just not shame them as much as we do just collectively throughout history. So yeah, that's my little tidbit. Thanks for watching if you watched all the way through. Wow. Appreciate you.